Yeah, hi. Welcome to RandomNet, where we dive into the randomness of internet. I'm actually trying to see if my if the software is working as it's supposed to. I haven't streamed in a while, as you can tell. Um, if you look at my uh, channel, but look like I am live. Channel, but perfect, awesome. This is great because I was worried if I'm gonna have like some connection issues or configuration issues rather, and whatnot. So looks like everything is working as expected. So uh, now that's out of the way, I wanna give you like a very brief overview. I know I feel like I'm in a work mode, but yeah, I want to give you a brief overview of how this session looks like. Basically, this is a random net where we explore the randomness on the internet. And if you have been living under the rock, then probably you're not watching it. But if you're watching it, you're already familiar with internet and the different platforms on internet. And these are some of my favorite platforms. And the reason why I'm choosing one of these, or let me rephrase, like the goal is to kind of like explore one of these platforms during our session today, and we're going to dive into all kind of randomness. If it lands on the Wikipedia, we're going to dive into random Wikipedia pages. If it lands on ChatGPT, which is a newer thing in the list here, then we will explore the different questions or different philosophical um, questions. Could be philosophical, could be like mundane, boring, in the real world kind of questions, and see how ChatGPT responds to that. And likewise, if you land on like say Goodreads or YouTube or Twitter rather, so we will just go through. We'll play along with Goodreads. I normally just go and review different books, try to kind of get understanding of different books. And on Twitter, I have like a bunch of things bookmarked, so I'm gonna explore that. And Reddit is an open uh, portal, so meaning like I don't have any fixed plan for Reddit or YouTube, so we'll explore different content on that. But that being said, I am gonna click to spin and let this wheel of names pick a winner for me, which ironically is Twitter, because I feel like Twitter is a loser. I mean, especially after Mr. Musk acquired this platform. It was a shitstorm to begin with, but Musk took it to like different level of stupidity. So let me just sign in, and yeah, you're still seeing my portal. I just realized that. So you all sneaky people might have like looked at my password, which, if I recall correctly, is yeah, I have a formula with which I set up all of my passwords. And I did this kind of video on that a while back, and basically I use like different encryption, like personal encryption method to set up a unique password for every website. So you don't have to remember the password for every website and still have like a unique password, which is beautiful. All right. So now that I'm logged in, I'm not gonna see. This is one thing which I kind of sort of like, that there is two different sections, like for you and following. In the following, they just showcase the people I am following, whereas for you is kind of like a mixed bag of like everything. And I'm sure like there's so many Twitter blue users who actually are not, oh, well, who actually have disposable income to give like $8 a month to Elon Musk so that he can recover his 44 billion. And those people, some useful idiots might call them useful idiot who pay for the Twitter premium version. But maybe maybe they are visionary. Maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe they know that once you buy into the system using $8 per month for your account, and you get greater exposure within the community and whatnot. So yeah, maybe they to each their own, I guess. But I am gonna either I'm gonna go through some of the following, or you know what? I'm gonna just dive into bookmarks because there's a reason why I kind of bookmark this. Awesome. What I want to do is I want to, before we dive into there, I want to create something on my backend. So bear with me for a quick second. All right, I think we should be good to go. Yeah, I feel like I'm still, I'm still kind of like talking like like I'm in work mode. But here we are. A thread about traveling leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller. By that was a quote by Ibn Battuta, and I like it. This is kind of like a good thread. Cool. So let's do it. Uh, Bite Elfan. Hopefully, I got your name right. Bite or Bait. How, how do you the future of Islamic art and culture? Okay, so this is not a user, but it seems like that this particular username may mean something in Arabic. Let's see. I'm kind of curious now. Beit Al Fan was also a TV program. Okay, and obviously the Twitter handle. What does it mean? Art house. Ah, nice. I like it. So Beit El Fan, a house for everyone. Wow. So they tweeted about traveling. And traveling leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller. Ibn Battuta. The most famous explorer in the Muslim world, Ibn Battuta, traveled more than any other explorer in pre modern history, around 117,000 kilometers. That's a lot. A thread on the 14th century explorer Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta was born in 1304 CE in Tangier, Morocco. His travelogue, the Rihal, Rela, is his most important work. His journeys in the Rela lasted for a period of almost 30 years, covering nearly the whole of the known Islamic world and beyond. Ibn Battuta traveled more than any other explorer in pre-modern history, surpassing Zhang He with 50,000 kilometers and Marco Polo with 24,000 kilometers. His total distance traveled was approximately 117,000 kilometers. Ibn Battuta's family hailed from a Berber background and had a long standing tradition of serving as qadis or Islamic judges. In his quest to perform Hajj, Ibn Battuta, at the age of 21, braved the harsh conditions of the Arabian desert en route to Mecca. Pilgrims typically visited and studied under eminent scholars while traveling to their destination, which led to prolonging Ibn Battuta's trip. He studied Islamic law in Egypt and served as a judge in India. After leaving Mecca, Ibn Battuta traveled extensively over the next few years, touring Persia, Iran, Iraq, Azerbaijan, Yemen, and the Horn of Africa. He also visited Mogadishu and explored the coast of Kenya and Tanzania and beyond. That's pretty dope. Ibn Battuta's travels were filled with peril, but he managed to survive both robbery in India and a shipwreck in Calicut. His resilience in the face of danger is a testament to the bravery and fortitude that drove him to undertake such daring expeditions. China marked the beginning of the end of Ibn Battuta's travels. Having reached the edge of the known world, he finally turned around and journeyed home to Morocco, arriving back in Tangier in 1349. So he was just on the road for that long? Upon his return to Tangier, Ibn Juzay was commissioned to write Ibn Battuta's travel accounts and compile them into the Rihla, the journey covering a vast area of experiences and observations. Historic copy of selected parts of the travel report by Ibn Battuta, 1836 CE, Cairo. Nice. His book, The Rihla, is considered a thorough commentary on the Islamic Empire, showcasing various aspects of the social, cultural, and political history of the Muslim world in the 14th century and beyond. Ibn Battuta's whereabouts after the Rihla's completion are uncertain, and little is known about his life except that he possibly worked as a judge in Morocco and passed away around 1368. On the famous Catalan Atlas of 1375, it is thought that the figure at the bottom left on the camel is Ibn Battuta traveling to see the great Mali leader Mansa Musa. Ibn Battuta's journeys provide an invaluable source for the social, cultural, and political history of the Muslim world in the 14th century. He was a keen observer of life, and his descriptions are marked by a human approach, which is unusual for historical writing of the time. The great explorer Ibn Battuta continues to be remembered and celebrated across the Muslim world for his valor and contributions, leaving a great example to follow for many generations to come. Discover more about Ibn Battuta, the most famous explorer in the Muslim world, by navigating to this website. All right, Vital fan, good job. I was actually hoping for more insights from the book itself instead of like um, just the story behind Ibn Battuta, but probably that's for another time. All right, so what next? Well, why not check this thread out? Masculine ego underscore tweeted 20 unspoken rules for men. Number 1, never shake a hand sitting down. Second, protect who is behind you and respect who is beside you. Next, never insult the cooking when you are the guest. Never eat the last piece of something you didn't buy. Never make the first offer in a negotiation. Don't take credit for work you didn't do. Take the blame and give credit take the blame and give credit when due. If you are not invited, don't ask to go. Always aim for the head in a fight. Don't beg for a relationship. Dress well no matter what the occasion. Always carry cash. Listen, nod, and most of all, make eye contact. Show restraint in expressing anger no matter what. Being angry is a waste of energy. Whether is whether it's dinner, drinks, or both, avoid placing your phone on the dinner table. Never pose with alcohol. Proper grammar will get you far in life. Leave the foul language for the less educated. Ask more than you answer. You can tell a great deal about a person by their handshake, so make your strong and firm. Speak honestly. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Men, if you are finding it hard to reach your full potential and feeling miserable for not doing so, get the Illimitable Men audiobook, okay? All right. Go check out Masculine Ego underscore. I mean, some of these are kind of good advice, and these are kind of like tried and tested advice, especially when it comes down to the last one. Speak honestly and say what you mean and mean what you say. I mean, for sure. 17th one is kind of off-putting. It's like proper grammar will get you far in life. All right, that's fair. That's a good statement. But leave the foul language for the less educated. Why do you have to punch down? I mean, sure, but you can use foul language and still be educated. So it's not dependent. All right. That's my rant. But hey, some good life advice, and not just for men, but for everyone. All right, Sahil. I like Sahil. He tweets. I believe he's like a VC, and a lot of his, tweets and work are insightful, and it kind of make me listen to what he's about to say. All right. So Sahil Bloom tweeted, "If you want to perform under pressure, you need to understand this. The Yerkes-Dodson law. The Yerkes-Dodson law is performance versus stress. So for the first one third, I would say, not enough pressure, so your performance is kind of rising because you don't have much pressure. But once you have pressure or stress, that's where peak performance happens. Okay? And when you have too much stress, the performance decline. Okay. So there's like this happy, what do you call, range, or the Yerkes-Dodson law is a simple model of the relationship between performance and stress. It says that stress and performance are positively correlated, but only up to a certain point, after which more stress reduces performance. Anecdotally, this probably checks out for most people. We like to procrastinate a bit on big projects or tasks. The pressure of the deadline gets us into a focused state. If we procrastinate too much, the pressure becomes overwhelming and our performance suffers. 3 states to be aware of. Low stress. Great for recovery, but generally not conducive to performance. Optimal stress. Goldilocks level. Just right. Best to work on important tasks. High stress may lead to a complete shutdown. Not ideal for working on important tasks. There are countless examples of athletes who seem to rise to the occasion in the big moments. Jordan, Serena Williams, and Tiger come to mind. Surely genetic factors at play, but you can train yourself to manage stress more efficiently. Shift the apex of your curve to the right. Place yourself into controlled, stressful environments and work on managing your mental and physical faculties. Example, get into a cold shower or ice bath and see if you can focus and perform a mental task like simple math or reciting a poem, etc., for a fixed period of time. This type of training may flatten the right side of your curve, slow the decay in your performance, enabling you to perform in a wider variety of situations. Learning to manage stress is the first step. Learning to wield it as a weapon in your personal arsenal is the next step. The years of training under a variety of stress loads in is one of the reasons I believe athletes and military veterans tend to make great hires. They are literally trained to handle and manage stress and perform through it. The goal: create a mental map of your curve, develop an awareness of your optimal zone and how to avoid the tipping point. Winners consistently operate in that zone. If you like that, give a follow to Sahil Bloom. He's great. His tweets are, like I said, insightful. Well, he continues to say, and no, you definitely don't need to do crazy stuff like this to train yourself to handle stress. I just find it fun, which is cold shower, cold plunge, I guess, yeah. And plenty of ways to hone your stress response that don't involve being a weirdo like me. I like to create optimal stress out of low stress situations. Two ideas: public declaration. State your intentions publicly, make it harder to flick. And reward or penalty. Plan a reward or penalty if you do or don't do what you're supposed to. Mental games are effective. Well, I apologize for that beep and can't do anything about it because, uh, I live in a community. All right, and one of my biggest struggles currently is creating optimal stress on a long-term project, which is a book. When you face a trade-off of working on a long-term project with zero associated dopamine from progress or a short-term project with immediate dopamine from completion, it's tough. I write about these topics in my weekly newsletter, or two times weekly newsletter. All right, go and give a follow to Sahil Bloom. You will not regret that. And let's check this out. Matt Gray talks about LinkedIn tools. So if you want to build up like LinkedIn, if you want to generate 150K a month, check this out. Matt underscore Gray underscore tweeted, LinkedIn is more powerful than Twitter. In 2022, I generated 150,000 a month and grew to 176,000 followers on the platform. Here's how to hack the LinkedIn algorithm. Optimize your profile. The first and most important thing you need to do to start growing on LinkedIn is cleaning up your profile. Headshot, clear tagline, banner image, about section, featured section, turn on creator mode. And then grow via carousels. I post 4 carousels a week. Here's how they perform. 2,000 plus likes, 525,000 impressions, and 1,550 followers. And here's the process. Write a Twitter thread, bullet points, concise, copy, repurpose using Figma or Canva. Perfect your About section. The About section lets you flex your storytelling muscles. Like you by the numbers, revenue generated, companies built, etc., or your portfolio of work, or your social proof results. Here's how I set mine up. All right, let's check this out. In the About section, this is Matt Gray's About section. Over the last decade, I built 3 successful companies and a community of over 14 million people. My mission is to inspire 10 million entrepreneurs to live their dreams. I help entrepreneurs with content strategy, community building, and growth. I'm the founder of Herb and Bitmaker, acquired General Assembly. My portfolio: I'm the founder and CEO of Herb, the leading cannabis marketing as a service CMAS brand with a community of over 14 million people. I teach the Founder OS program to help entrepreneurs scale their companies to 5 million plus revenue. I coach entrepreneurs that need help with marketing, sales, systems, community, and growth. I advise early stage companies in AI, DTC, and SaaS verticals. I run a community of entrepreneurs around Founder OS. My result? 157,000 plus people following Founder OS, 14 million plus people in the herb community, 2 billion content impressions annually, zero advertisements, 60% plus margins. If you want to learn more about how I built this, you can join my newsletter. Or if you want to explore one on one coaching or consulting, visit my personal website. All right. Seems pretty simple and straightforward. So, Matt Gray continues. Leverage creative mode. This enables you to add 3 featured links. Use them to add a free masterclass, detailed step-by-step guide, weekly newsletter, capture high-value audience members, and your product 10 times the value of your free masterclass. Here's how I set up mine. So, a masterclass and an audience OS, which is about the book, or a weekly newsletter. So, free masterclass, weekly newsletter, and then the product, which, okay. Post consistently. On Sunday, batch 1 post for every day of the week. Use your high-performing tweets or threads and convert them. Show up daily. Develop your tone. Test new experiments. And then build a community of raving fans. My social strategy is simple. Engage with comments for 30 minutes every morning. Turn common questions into new content ideas. Engaging early on posts helps. Reinforce comment engagement. Attracts true fans. This is an excerpt from one of his posts. So Teddy gave a pro tip: subscribe to YouTube Premium and remove ads. Easily worth the monthly fees. All right. Or really like Hormozy and Dickie Bush. Great list. I'm not sure, but basically just acknowledging the people who comment, I guess. Then Matt continues to say, network with other creators. Networking is huge on LinkedIn. You can leverage more established audiences to grow. Here are some of my favorite creators. Yeah, I know Justin Welsh is great. I'm not sure about Dan Founder. Wait, he got 32 followers and 1 following? Interesting. Cody. I think I might have stumbled on some of her work. Investing millions in boring business and sharing what I learned on a mission to create 1 million financially free humans. Wait, and it says my bio, not my tombstone. I hope it changes. All right, perfect. I'm gonna check this out. System Sunday. Not sure. Okay, never seen this account. All right, so now let's go back and check out something else. Well, here's one more gem if you want to build up a business. Brett Adcock, by the handle adcock_Brett, tweeted, Reddit is a startup university. You just need to know who the teachers are. 9 golden subreddits to build a $1 billion business. Entrepreneur ride along. Solve issues, talk growth, and collab on projects. Advanced entrepreneur. Tips, tricks, and fundamentals to grow your business. Sweaty startup. A hub for entrepreneurs of regular old-fashioned businesses. Small business. Q&A for starting and growing a business. Just start. What works, what doesn't, and what's new in marketing. Entrepreneur learn from other entrepreneurs. Startups, discuss startup problems and solutions. Side hustle, make money on top of your full time job. Personal finance, learn about budget, saving, debt, investing, and more. I hope you found this thread helpful. Follow Brett Adcock. Awesome. Thanks, Brett. Let's check out the next tweet. Cool. Shreyas Doshi. I don't think I followed this person, but maybe I stumbled upon their tweet. Yeah, I don't follow them. All right. Shreyas Doshi with the handle at Shreyas tweeted, a really important concept to understand in work and life, the antithesis principle. It is best explained through some examples. So that's where I will start this thread. First example, observation. Most people learn better when the content or teaching is entertaining. Many people only learn if the content is entertaining. As a smart and ambitious person, if you think deeply about what you should take away from this observation, you have to conclude the two things. Number one, if you want to help people learn something, look into making it engaging or entertaining. This is the easier, more obvious conclusion. Then number two, it is actually not in your best interest to be the kind of person who can only learn from entertaining content, nor to be the kind of person that needs any sort of entertainment as a prerequisite for learning. 90% of smart people will never consider this conclusion. If you can be a person who does not need to be entertained very much or at all to learn, you will learn more things and different things that someone else who absolutely needs to be entertained for learning. They will discard the profound book with a boring title, but you won't. This is not an isolated example. The antithesis principle is more widely applicable than might first be apparent. Let's look at another example. Second example for observation. A charismatic person will almost always influence people a lot more than a similarly capable uncharismatic person will. A charismatic person will usually even influence people a lot more than a much more capable uncharismatic person will. What you should conclude from this. Number one, to grow your influence as a leader, it is better for you learn the art of charisma, the obvious conclusion. And number two, to be wiser, it is in your best interest to work towards not being swayed by other people's charisma, the non-obvious conclusion. Now, most smart people think that they don't get swayed by charisma, but most of them are wrong. They do get swayed by charisma all the time. They just don't like to think that because accepting that would contradict their self-image of being a smart person. Well, smart is not equal to wise. Now let's go to third example. I'm sure you have heard at some point in your life that within the first 7 seconds of meeting you, people form a solid impression of who you are. Now, who knows if it is actually true, but let's assume for a moment that it is true. Then what you should conclude. Number one, to be effective, you should consciously try to create a good first impression on other people, the obvious. Number two, it is in your best interest to work toward not being a person who forms a fixed impression of someone based on the first 7 seconds. Non-obvious. The fourth example, everyone talks about how a great manager is so important. Tweet out, only work for great managers. And you're sure to get hundreds of likes and retweets. But reality is different from Twitter. Yes, a manager is important, but let's apply the antithesis principle here. To make a big impact, number one, you should try to be a competent manager so you can help people to do really good work. Obvious conclusion. And number two, you should turn yourself into a person who does really good work even when you report to an okay or absentee manager yourself. Not obvious conclusion. Why can't most people deal with the antithesis principle? Two reasons. Number one, people love consistency. The antithesis principle creates inconsistency. Most people cannot process inconsistency. And number two, people don't question their default programming. And when other people are programmed similarly, that's great validation for them to stay with the defaults. So, here's the antithesis principle. You might need to understand a certain thing about how the world works and apply it so you can be effective. But you may need to adopt the antithesis of that to yourself so you can be a wiser, kinder, happier, more effective person yourself. Armed with this context, you will find the antithesis principle in all sorts of places. Take the idea that people love analogies. The antithesis principle says that you should explain by analogy to help people understand, but not reason by analogy to make yourself understand. It applies to so many situations. So keep the antithesis principle in the back of your mind next time you make an observation about the world around you. You will not only reach the obvious conclusion that everyone reaches, but also the non-obvious conclusion that very few reach. And he also had some of the brilliant points from the responses, I guess. So let's check the response. Vikas Kavaria responded, does the antithesis principle applies to itself too? Like, can one stop using it when you realize the other person is wise and knows this principle? Hence, being charismatic, good first impression, etc. may not help in those situations. And Shreyas responded, you asked such a great question that I decided to do a follow-up to the main thread to try to answer that. Cool. Brilliant point. It does. Example, in business, some guys try to be the alpha to impress or intimidate. Thing is, that alphaness doesn't work with me. If they were wise, they'd know that. So I just don't do business with anyone who tries the alpha stuff with me. Another example, some people use standard negotiation tricks to get a better deal. Problem is, when they're negotiating with me, all those tactics are basically useless. And for the types of stuff I work with folks now, I expect the other person to have the maturity to know that. So if they engage in any negotiation shenanigans, it is an instant disqualify at my end. That is, if you cannot figure out that you should not be negotiating with me like this, you don't have the judgment to do well in whatever we'd be working on together anyway. So why even bother? Cool. So go and give a follow to Shreyas Doshi for this interesting thread. I think I'm gonna just wrap it up with like one last thread. Okay, let's do this. Sayujya Gupta, by the handle Gupta Sayujya, tweeted, after editing hundreds of YouTube videos, I can say storytelling is the most important skill for any video editor or YouTuber. Here are 10 storytelling tricks that will hook viewers to your content. Number 1. That's so me. You have to make them say, that's so me. Everyone loves stories that they can relate to. Make it so relatable that your viewers imagine themselves in it. For that, start with a problem that they have or a relatable incident. See how Nicholas does that.
But suddenly a notification is telling you that you know this feeling. You just woke up and the next thing you see is your phone in your hands. You check your new emails from work, read the news, find out that World War III is around the corner, and scroll through the lives of people you don't even know. After 30 minutes of mindlessly staring at your phone, you finally get your ass up to start your day. You brush your teeth, wash your face, and look in the mirror. But suddenly a notification is telling you that there's something more important right now. Just like that, you get sucked back into the rabbit hole of social media where you spend the majority of your morning.
Wasn't that relatable?
You know this feeling. You just woke up and the next thing you...
It is. I'm sure like almost everyone who is on Twitter are kind of sort of addicted to social media. And it's just a growing problem. Uh, this is part of like a new technology, right? Like even in the past, like people were addicted to newspapers. I know quite a few people, including my dad, who was like super addicted to newspapers, and that goes for like say magazines or like back in the day TV, and video game and so many different things. So but yeah, social media kind of changes in a lot of ways, because at least when you're consuming like news from newspaper, you're at least gaining something useful. So does like TV to a certain degree, because TV, most of the channels at least try to have some standard. But with social media, it's kind of like free for all, which is what I love, to be honest. I don't want to take away this from us, but at the same time, with intense power, what's the actual word? With great power comes great responsibility, and that's what it is. And we are not good at being we are not good at self-control. How about that? Like, well, the next point is, what's your purpose? Make your videos like a journey, from lazy to productive, from good to bad, from point A to B. Make your end goal crystal clear. That point B should be visible and something that your audience craves. See how Matt uses this technique.
I noticed I was developing early onset. Last year I had developed a bad habit of snacking. I had lost all self-control in the face of a free donut or plate of cookies. I knew something had to change when, even though I exercise often, I noticed I was developing early onset dad gut. Last year I had developed...
Cool. That's a good strategy. And moving on, what's on the line? Remember Thanos? What if his purpose was to rob someone's house? Bear with me. Would you still love to watch that endgame war if it was happening for a few $100s? No, right? Listen, stories must have stakes. See how Mr. Beast uses this.
In the other. And whichever circle has more people...
Put your right hand on the car. Whoever takes their hand off last gets the 300...
Oh, I just realized that the second I kind of like put it like full screen, it's not, streaming, or at least the video is kind of like blurred, or not blurred. Like it's not even, it doesn't even show video, right? Like this. So I'm gonna try to just leave it as it is.
Put your right hand on the car. Whoever takes their hand off last gets the $300,000 car.
This is our waitress. As much money as you can stack on this tray without putting it down, you can keep. But you do this and it falls, you lose it all.
All of it?
All of it.
Oh, wow.
You circles and put 100 boys in one and 100 girls in the other. And whichever circle has more people after 100 boys. I built 2 massive circles and put 100 boys in one and 100 girls in the other. And whichever circle has more people after 100 hours wins $500,000. But if you touch the red line, you're eliminated.
What do you got? Put your right hand on the car.
Yeah, I haven't seen Mr. Beast work in a while. And these are all impressive, because I mean these are kind of like a social experiment, and I can't wait to kind of like go back and check some of these things. All right, so moving along, the next point is open your eyes. It takes me hours to prepare a visual for my threads every week, the one you see below my tweets, but still I do that. Why? To make it easier for your brain to grasp. You have to do the same. Use B-rolls to show the story and not just narrate it. B-roll Matt Devilla use in 30 seconds. All right, what is it?
I every morning. First, I've been getting a full 8 hours of sleep each night. Here you can see what my sleep has looked like for the past month. I've been tracking my sleep for the past 30 days, and I've been consistently getting 9 hours in bed and 8 hours of sleep. The time that I get to bed each night varies, depending on the day of the week, whether or not I have plans, and if Natalie is working late. It's crazy how inconsistent my schedule has become. So instead of forcing myself to wake up early every morning, I let my body tell me when I'm ready to wake up. Every night, every morning.
Okay, I see the point. Like, tell the story behind the behind just the video. So open your eyes. It takes me. Okay, but so why to make it easier for you to? So you do the same. Use B-rolls to show the story and not just narrate it. And number 5, not again. What's the most irritating part of a story? The problem. What's the most important part of a story? The problem. Your story can't be based on pedals all the time. Your audience needs that spikes as well. Introduce problems to build their interest in the video.
Insane, inside, the danger gets me high. Can't help myself, got secrets I can't tell. I love the smell of gasoline. I light the match to taste the heat. I've always liked to play with fire.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. I mean, technically, if you can like just address a particular problem, that's great. But if not, you can create a problem, introduce problems to build their interest in the video. So, and if those problems are kind of like high stakes, then hell yeah. All right, moving on. Never be to the point. You and your friend went to see a suspense movie, and he told you what's gonna happen in the end. Will you still enjoy the movie? Don't be that ugly friend to your audience. Let them enjoy your video and wait for what happens in the end. Okay, so I like that.
These are the 19 greatest inventions to save your life. Starting from self-defense gadgets designed to save one person, all the way to interplanetary weapons designed to save Earth's entire population. So let's start thin and just keep getting thinner. So we've got a speedometer on the side here. Let's go from rapid to racing to straight up supersonic. These are the 19 greatest inventions.
Nice. Well, next point is I wonder. The best stories are the ones that create questions in viewers' minds. Filmmakers try to make your mind question while watching their videos. I wonder, who is she? What's happening over there? What the... This works extremely well in the start.
Chef has not eaten food in 7 years.
You don't sweat. This guy stands in the middle of traffic in every Sunday morning. Why?
Chef has not eaten food in 7 years.
Yeah, well, you're bra. All right, so the next point, you hear that? Don't forget your audience has ears too. Use that to your advantage. Spend time on sound designing and use music related to the mood of the video. Sound is very necessary to immerse your viewers in your videos. Don't ignore it. Well, I've been ignoring it, but I wish I could. Well, someday, one day when I have like a team to kind of like do all of this, then we'll incorporate music in the background. All right, so let's check out this video. Nice. Well, the next step, please their eyes. What's that one thing video editors neglect, but it actually add value to the story? Color grading. Believe it or not, colors play a major role in giving your videos a vibe. Spend time learning about color grading, and it's add stars to your visuals.
Like the Joker, shot digitally, look as though it was captured on film, and yet people rave about its color grading. Or what makes Images and The Revenant pop with so much rich contrast? How does this image from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood not look dull, although half of it is a plain sky with no detail? Or how does No Time to Die manage to make Bond stand out in each scene with only color separation? Like the Joker, shot digitally.
Nice. And the end. The ending of your stories is just as important as the start. When your viewers finish the video, they should understand why you did the thing that you did in the first place. The story plot must connect and give your viewers value in the end.
Away from these last 7 days, while things like junk food, So what do I take away from these last 7 days? While things like junk food, alcohol and porn were pretty easy to avoid, other things like social media and music were a lot harder for me. Driving without any music is fucking boring. But from one day to another, I noticed more and more benefits coming from this detox.
Sweet. Number 11. What's next? 280 character limit in Twitter sucks. I analyzed dozens of videos and edited hundreds of them, but wasn't able to explain everything in this small space. Alright, so Gupta, give a follow to this dude. I mean, you know, good pointers, great pointers. Cool, let's, well, I mean, I was thinking of maybe like wrapping it up now, but it's already too late for me to go to the place I was thinking of going. So I'm just going to continue maybe like, let's do like maybe a couple more threads and then we'll wrap it. Might visual about pain, a psychology and life. All right, 14 might visuals. Cool. So Mindset Bolt, which goes with the Twitter handle Mindset Bolt, tweeted 14 might visuals about pain, psychology, and life. So pain, discipline, and regret. This is real. This is so accurate. Like with discipline, of course, you're gonna feel the pain because you have to consistently work and put in the work towards one particular thing. So that's discipline. Is not easy, but in the end of the life, if you end up regretting, that pain is unfathomable. Like imagine you have, you know, lived your life, and towards the end of your life, you feel that your life wasn't fulfilling. And to be honest, to be fair, I feel that at times too, and that's a you know good. That's the belief I bet like all of us share. But this accurately depict like the right action to take. We're gonna feel pain either way. Let's be more disciplined and feel the pain rather than feeling the pain of regret. All right, so next tweet. Clarity with the calm mind and chaos, the overwhelmed mind. Yeah, so true. And then the creativity. Yeah, this is funny. I would have even said like 7 a.m. because, you know, that's also sort of fits right. But yeah, early morning, late night. Yeah, I feel like super creative. I wouldn't say early morning, but I would say like late night, maybe at time like, you know, late night at like 2 a.m. or something. All right, failures is heavier than success. Okay. Yeah, there's very little gap between pain and pleasure, or rather there is a bridge between pain and pleasure. And we are always kind of walking on that bridge. Okay. Well, but I feel like pain and pleasure are like one of the, well, I shouldn't say one and the same, but they're like similar feelings, um, but with opposite emotion. I mean, feelings and emotion could be the same too, but pain is more negative and pleasure is more positive, but it's the same or similar feeling, I would say. Because with pain you want to avoid pain, and with pleasure you want to indulge in pleasure, so one is like, oh, I don't want to do that, and the other is, oh, I want that. So that's a different, that's a big difference. All right, next tweet. The graph between effort and time, and you gotta take breaks in between, but make sure that you are going forward, that you're moving forward. And I can attest to this. Right now, I don't know where I'm, probably somewhere at the bottom here, but I know that um, you know there is an uphill just around the corner, and that's what matter. It always gonna be ups and downs in life. Okay, next tweet. Uh, Iceberg with just shows the expertise on the top and struggle at the bottom, and this is kind of true. I won't say that I'm expert on anything at all, but I feel that this shows that in order to gain expertise about anything in general, gotta go through struggle. All right, next one is start here to get here. Small, consistent daily actions over time. So true. Next one. Reactive mode is I have no time, and proactive mode is I make time. I don't know where I am in those two different two options. Okay, the next point. Being a good talker and being a good listener. Okay. Being a good talker, just show a lot from, seems like they're more kind of like just show off. That's what I'm feel this is all about. It's whereas being a good listener is kind of like more grounded in, more deeper. Okay, next tweet. Well, scroll until you get in the phone. Okay, your brain needs a checkup, I guess, by heart. Cool. Sunday and Monday, the coffee difference. Yeah, but that's kind of true, because whenever you're trying to be productive, you need energy, and coffee is kind of source of energy. So I get it. So what is happening? Okay, a book. So you're losing yourself in a book. You're no matter how small you are, but once you are in the book, that becomes like your world. So all the graphics, shout out goes to Eric Lozada, and combining these graphics, shout out to Mindset Bolt. Yeah, this could be helpful too. Let's see. Andreas, who's a dad's fitness coach, okay, by the Twitter handle Andreas Petker, tweeted 2 point. Wait, what? What is this supposed to be? Is it like 2.8 million lives? But why are there like so many zeros there? They could have said just this. Yeah, or just remove the million. I mean, this is kind of like absurd, but all right, Andreas. 2.8 million lives are lost to obesity annually. That's getting rid of belly fat can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Here are 7 ways how to deal with this silent enemy. Abdominal fat, which is visceral fat, is a type of fat that is stored inside your body. It's like a big cushion that helps protect your organs, like your stomach and liver. It's important to have some of this fat, but too much of it is bad for your health. Want to get rid of it? Here are 7 suggestions on how to do this. Sleep, exercise, go walking, eating window, have a purpose, nutrient dense diet, proactive stress reduction. So, number 1, sleep. If you only sleep for 6 hours a night, you are much more likely to die young than if you sleep for 7.5 hours plus. Get enough REM sleep and deep sleep. The 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. window is crucial. Benefits: healthier heart, sharper brain, mood boost. Sleep is king. So say yes to get up at the same time, evening walks, bedtime routine, comfortable bed, cool and dark room, relaxing bath. And say no to heavy food, blue light, hard training, alcohol or smoking, caffeine, and stress. Okay, so exercise is the best form of self-care. Regular exercise has been shown to help boost energy levels and enhance your mood. Additional benefits are: promotes a better sex life. You'll expand your mind, maintain strong bones, lower risk of disease, improves fat loss. Walk at least 10,000 steps daily, which will reduce your risk of chronic diseases, delay the onset of varicose veins, stimulate your digestive system, boost your brain power, improve your mood, improve your sleep, alleviate joint pain, enhance creativity. Moving on. An eating window of 6 to 8 hours gives you these benefits: better sleep, better digestion, increased longevity, reduced reduced inflammation, increased energy levels, improved mental clarity, improved insulin sensitivity, narrow eating window, narrow waist. Then purpose. The man without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder. Wave, a nothing, a no man. Have a purpose in life, and having it, throw such strength of mind and muscle into your work as God has given you. Thomas Carlyle. And then nutrient-dense diet. So limit sugary drinks, processed foods, saturated or trans fat, and enjoy lean proteins like steak, salmon, chicken. So I'm vegetarian, so no thank you. Healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, and eggs. Vegetables like broccoli, fermented veggies. Complex carbs like potatoes, white or brown rice, and buckwheat. And then proactive stress reduction. Smile. Enjoy the sun more often. Walk barefoot on the grass. Have regular quiet time by yourself. Greet everyone with a good morning. If possible, go more often for a swim in the ocean. So, 7 ways to ditch visceral fat. Sleep, exercise, go walking, eating window, have a purpose, nutrient-dense diet, proactive stress reduction. And if you like that, go give a follow to Andreas Petker. That's fitness coach. Cool. All right, let's do one last thread because, okay, we have achieved the goal of having the session for an hour. How to recognize 15 common cloud formation. Okay, I like that, but maybe later. Cool, let's do this. ThinkWealth at ThinkWealth_ tweeted 10 powerful visuals about psychology and life. Number 1. The biggest mistake you can make is holding on to someone who has already let you go. Number 2, don't tell everyone about your plans. Instead, show them your results. Number 3, time is precious. Make sure you spend it with the right people. Number 4, decisions made in anger often lead to regret. Learn to control your emotions. Number 5, when you overthink everything, you end up hurting yourself. Number 6, the heaviest burdens that we carry are the thoughts in our head. And the 7, idea without action is nothing. Number 8, a good book can change your life. Now that's weird, but okay. Like everyone is programmed in a particular way. Whatever. Next one. Work hard in silence. Let success make the noise. I completely agree with this one. Number 10. We only live once. Wrong. We only die once. We live every day. Kind of true. Alright, give a follow to Think Media _ and I believe the visual credit goes to Blue Man Family. So go give a follow to Blue Man Family as well. Great, so this has been kind of interesting session. I like it. I know I've been trying to do this as frequently as I could, but you know things are kind of weird. It's all over the place right now. But my goal is to do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if not, I might switch it to like Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, something like that. But goal is to do this twice a week. So at least I don't know what the end point is. I guess I'm trying to follow the some of the lessons we learned today, like one of those like tips, like wrap up the video with a solid point. So in the spirit of a solid point, I want to say